welcome. Thank you for being here today for the Tempe Biz Hub launch. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend with us to learn about this new platform. I'm Jill Bushbacher with Economic Development, and I'm pleased to be here today with our colleagues from Cahoots who are bringing you this award-winning platform to help your business. We went through a bid process to choose this platform to help our business community, and we did so with the help of our partners and went through a rigorous process and felt that a couple of the reasons that we chose their platform in particular were that not only was it award-winning from the International Economic Development Council, but also that it showed that it helped increase revenues and lower costs for businesses that use it in a variety of communities around the country and in our region also. So we did this intentionally, and we hope you find it very helpful. We have a council member that's going to be joining us today too. I believe she's on her way, Councilmember Hodge. And just want to thank our partners again at DTA, Tempe Tourism, and Tempe Chamber for their support of our work and all that we do to serve our business community. And thank you all again for being here. So during the presentation, feel free to please ask questions. If you need to ask a question, please raise your hand so I can bring a microphone to you and we can make sure that everyone can hear it. Because we do have some folks online and we want to make sure that everyone gets that benefit. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jenny Poon, CEO and founder of Cahoots and Hub, and take it away, Jenny.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Yeah. Great. I'm Jenny Poon. I am the founder of Cahoots. Has anybody heard of Cahoots before? Yay! Okay, so we're a co-working space. We were the first co-working space to open in Phoenix. We now have 2 locations. We serve about 500 to 1,000 entrepreneurs regularly, all different kinds of businesses. We also run incubation programming and training. And so we've been doing this for over a decade in supporting entrepreneurs, specifically around how do you grow and scale a business. And so over the past few years, we've also been asked a lot to expand our resources beyond our physical space. We were hearing a lot of businesses struggle with getting physically to our location to be able to access the training and support that we offer. And so we put all of the things that we've learned into a digital tool that businesses can access ongoing, and kind of worked on how do we bring co-working to the masses, to people beyond our physical space. How do you connect with other business owners within your own community? And thus, this is the launch of Hub. We are in, I think, 9 cities, a lot of cities across Arizona, and we've tested this, so you guys have the best version of Hub as it stands today as a newer city launching. So I'm going to walk through what Hub is. You can immediately, you guys will be the first to sign up for it. You can do so at the link at the end of the screen. And then, like Jill said, feel free to ask any questions as I go through this. The first thing you should know about the Tempe Biz Hub is that it is a citywide tool. It is free. You won't need to pay anything. It's completely funded as a service of the city. I know a lot of people are like, how can that be? How does that work? Why does the city do this? The goal of a city in economic development is to help small businesses succeed, right, in whatever way possible. And I think a lot of times business owners don't know that there are a ton of resources out there. And so this tool helps us aggregate everything that's happening across Tempe and even across the region, so that you have the first notice of when a new grant is available, when there are new programs available from partner communities, and when there are new resources available at the city. So you will be able to see that when you log into the Hub. It is free, like I said. It's a digital platform, so at any point when you're in the middle of the night and you're dreaming about the challenges you're running into, you can pop on Hub and you can post something to the community and ask for help. Or you can look for trainings that we have available on the platform. You can even sign up for one-on-one assistance and a boot camp program that we're running as well, called the Tempe Training Lab, or the Tempe Biz Hub Training Lab. So those are the 2 key pieces. It's free and available to all small business owners, so tell your friends. And then also we have essentially a deep dive program called Tempe Biz Hub Training Lab. This is like a series of sessions that you get to work with directly an expert in the community and then follow up with one-on-one assistance. So if you're struggling with marketing and sales, like jump into that and work with somebody that can help you build a plan and actually execute that work. And that's a key component of this, like the execution, right? A lot of times as business owners, we get a lot of feedback and ideas. We talk to a business coach. They tell us what to do, but then where's the actual tactical support to get it done? So you can jump on and join the training lab and get some of that support. So now I'm going to walk you through some screenshots, and then at the end of this, we can actually jump into the platform. You guys can log in and get an account. So this is the learning library, and you can see on the left-hand side the navigation of all the other things that are available. But the learning library has over 80 pieces of training content, and we launch a new one every single month. And it's usually very timely and relevant. So one that is really popular that we ran a month ago was around the Inflation Act. Have you guys been following the Inflation Act legislation that was passed? And there's a lot of, while you think that it doesn't affect a business owner, you personally could benefit by getting a lot of tax credits and lowering, if you have any income, to be able to wipe out any taxable income. And to know about these things is really important. So we've recorded it. We have a trained CPA that knows a lot about that. And that session is on there, and you can just quickly watch it. You can also read it, and we also have a podcast form. So if you are a podcast digesting person, you can go on Spotify or whatever tool you use to consume your podcast and find Hub on there as well. So the next one is we have a consolidated calendar of all our small business support organizations. So the SBA, the chambers, the programs that we run at Hub, the city, all of that is aggregated into a calendar, again, very specific to small business support. So you can go on there and find what's coming up and continue your learning and continue your growth. And then a really popular section on our Hub platform is our grants library. So we, our Hub team, and Meg is over here too, so if you have any questions after, you can definitely ping her. You can go onto this grants section and continuously find new grants that are available for you, not just local grants, but national grants and global grants. And we also specifically categorize them into categories for women and people of color, because there's a lot out there for our communities. So again, it's not just local grants, but all these grants that we've seen across the country organized for you as a small business owner here. This is our community resources section. This is where you'll be able to see any partners and resources, organizations that are doing small business support. So we offer on this platform directly through the city one program and all of these resources for free for business owners. But there are also a lot of partner organizations that do great work. If you're looking for a loan, there's a loan program that's available through partners. We have a lot of access to CDFIs that have low interest rates. If you need help cleaning up your books, there's also other programs that you can work directly with somebody that will help you clean up your books. So there's just a lot of other resources beyond what you're hearing right now through the city, but they're through partner organizations, and we can help you navigate that as well. I also want to mention that on our Hub platform, we have a live chat function and a direct chat function with anybody at the city and any business owner on the platform. So think of like Facebook or your private social media networks. You have the ability to directly message Jill and be like, Jill, I'm struggling with this today, and she will point you to the right direction, or she might have a resource right there available for you. So none of this, like, you don't have to worry about email getting lost. You have a direct connection with Jill now. This is our community board. As I was mentioning, we essentially have this live feed for you as business owners to introduce yourself. If you are looking to meet other business owners, you know, you're struggling with something yourself, and it just would be really nice to talk to somebody else about what you're challenged with. I think we're all entrepreneurs, and we know what that feels like. So you can post on there and ask whatever you thing you're running into, and post it, because I'm sure somebody else is struggling with that as well, and they would have a solution for it. So this is how you register. So you would go to tempe.myhub.com/register. You'll be asked a few questions. It does take about 5 minutes to go through. All of these questions help us personalize and prioritize the support that you need. So you'll be asked some general demographics questions, and then you'll be asked, what challenges are you running into? Is there like a category for priority for support? So if like what's keeping you up at night is really like sales and marketing, write that down. Dominique on our back end will be reading every single one of these registrations and helping direct resources to you. And all of that also goes to our economic development team to help think about what else we can do to help you. And you can constantly send more information over to us. That is the point of this tool, right? To constantly be here for you as you navigate the different challenges of running a business. So feel free to log in there or register. As soon as you complete the form, within a couple minutes, you'll get a registration email that gives you access to create your password and then get into the system. We do have to verify your business information to just verify that you're in the city of Tempe. This is only available for Tempe residents or Tempe business owners. And you can be a home-based business, so you don't physically have to have a location, right? That's correct, Jill?
It just has to be in Tempe.
Yep, you just have to be in Tempe. So again, a huge benefit for being a Tempe business owner. And then there's a guided walkthrough as you get on there. So I'm gonna leave that screen up for a little bit because I know everybody's like, I can see you typing it in there. You can access, obviously, the registration on your phone, and you can access the platform on your phone as well. It's mobile friendly, so just make sure you like save the link to it. I'm gonna just wait 1 second. Screenshot it if you want. And then, Jill, I'm going to just give you a moment if there's anything else you want to say. Otherwise, I'm going to jump into actually what you would see on the platform. Do you have anything?
I just wanted to thank Councilmember Hodge for joining us today. Thank you for supporting our work here and our businesses in Tempe. And take it away again, Jenny.
Okay, let's jump over to the screen. So when you go register, it's not this page, but after you've registered, you will get access to the platform. And as you saw on the screenshots, you can see Chris Baxter is already in here. She is at the city. There's a couple other people at the city here too. You can post there anything that you're running into. There's some fun gifts too if you're a gift person. And then over on the left-hand side, there's a learning library that you saw, the events calendar, the grants, community resources, and then a little bit about the city of Tempe and the resources that they have available. And then you can also see all the business owners that are on the platform. Up here over on the right is messages, so you can directly message other business owners from within here as well as city staff, and then you'll get notifications over here. So you can see I'm just gonna post something and we'll just be a little silly about it. Okay, let's do a little GIF. That's silly. But you can see how quickly that works. As you navigate things, you can always jump on there and post different things. We will also be launching the training lab component very shortly for registration, and you'll get notice of that too. So, yes, question?
On the community board, I see where it says next to all updates, it says groups. So
Yep.
I wanted to create like a On the community board, it has the alt updates, and next to it says groups. So could we create a group for like just like downtown businesses or like retail or restaurants or
I love
bars?
it. That's a great idea. We have a group right now that's just announcements, but we can definitely create more groups if you want to suggest other groups. And yes, so that's definitely possible. We've had other cities create groups around different, like if a chamber wants their own group in there, and as long as we have like an ambassador that wants that, we can definitely create it.
Thank you.
Yeah, great idea. Yes. Oh, 1 second.
Yeah, I need my steps.
This is available to business owners, but if I had like my team, would my team also have access to this, like a manager
Yes.
on my team?
Yeah, you can definitely add your team members onto there too.
Okay.
They would just fill out the same information. There are some questions around the business itself. So I would just, you'd have to share a little bit of that information, but then a good chunk of it is around the employee or like the person. So if they each are struggling with something and they're a big part of your business, then this is super helpful. Just know that your team would be on there, so you can't be on there complaining about your team.
Something I'll just add is one of the features that we've included is for the businesses that sign up for the training lab, you'll get an hour of free consultation from one of the advisors from the platform. And it can be on a variety of topics. They're great advisors that have been well vetted, that have been doing this kind of work for a long time. It's one of the best features of the platform. And unfortunately, we're not able to provide hours and hours at no cost for everyone, but we can provide that free hour to about 100 businesses. So those that enroll in the training lab in particular. So, and then beyond that, you would pay for the consulting between you and the consultant. So, and the fees range around $75 an hour.
Yep, so we have negotiated rates with a lot of advisors in our network. And so again, if you have any issues and you don't know, you need a referral to somebody to help you with something, just ask us or post on the platform and we can provide a referral. And like Jill said, we have a negotiated rate for all of our partners, and right now it's a $75 flat rate. And so that includes CPAs, that includes lawyers, attorneys, et cetera. So.
But don't let that stop you from taking full advantage of all the other benefits. If you're not in the training lab, as Jenny's mentioned, there's so many other ways to engage and get value out of the platform. Any other questions? Do we have any questions online? How many folks do we have with us online today? Oh my goodness, okay. All right, you never know. Well, can you tell us a little bit more about how other communities have used some of the other functions? Maybe talk about how they've used it for events, or they've used it to communicate with their businesses, or maybe some of the testimonials, some of the businesses that have had the best results using this.
Yeah, like I mentioned, a lot of businesses work. How many of you have worked with the SBA SCORE program? And how many of you have worked with an SBDC advisor? Great. So if you've gone through those, and if you haven't, I do recommend them. They're business coaching. So if you've gone through that moment where it's like, I'm struggling with something, but I don't really know how to pinpoint what that is, you can talk to them and they help guide you through what that next step might be. And they're a free service. SBA, SBDC are a free service, and it's a business coach. But they might help you work through a better business plan. They might help you do some maybe projections and encourage you to think more deeply about how you do team management, et cetera. So they definitely move you forward, but they don't do any of the tactical support. And they're not going to get in there and build your website. They're not going to get in there and help you create social media marketing material. And so most of our communities really benefit from doing the deeper learning components, where on the learning library, all of our trainings are really specific and tactical. And so you can go in and, here's how you actually use Canva if you haven't used Canva. Here's how you actually organize your books and what you should be looking at it on a monthly basis. So getting in there and getting tactical, but then also the training component of that, to be able to go through a boot camp with a small cohort that is also navigating the same challenges, and then follow that up with an actual one-on-one with a web designer or a graphic designer that can help you quickly build something, right? So that is one of the biggest components that's been really helpful. And then we've had a lot of businesses that have just randomly found grants and applied and got more money, right? We know that a lot of our businesses are funded that way. And so not having to constantly I think at this point coming out of the pandemic, there's just less grants, but if you're not looking for them, it's really hard to find them, right? So we have brought them all together for you, and as long as you can sign up for the SMS notification, or you can just come back regularly and check. But we're doing the hard work in bringing that to you. You still have to apply. But a good chunk of businesses, I would say, in every city that we've been in, we've heard of at least 15 to 25 businesses that have applied for things and gotten funding for it. And that's just within the first couple months of them being on the platform. So just pay attention to those things. I know it's getting harder because there's not as much of that kind of funding going around, but there is still grant funding out there.
And some of those grants that you list, what we like about what you have in the platform, Jenny, is that you pull from national resources, not just local or statewide grants that are probably the ones that we all hear about more often. You'll find information about a variety of resources that are nationally based. So that's an extra service to you and being and taking part in this platform.
We've also seen business owners not even realize that there are other business owners that are just right next door to them. So we've had, I think it was in Mesa, there was a business owner that was on the platform, and another business introduced themselves, and they were like, oh, I've always heard of that business. You're 2 doors down from me, but we've just never met. So being able to because we're just busy, right? Like we're physically in our space and we're working a ton of hours. We don't have a ton of time to run out and find each other, but they were able to connect, and now they've kind of built their own little peer-to-peer cohort that just meets regularly. So I think there's opportunity a lot of times to learn from each other, but I know how hard it is to do that when we're working 12-hour days, and then the extra 3 hours we're trying to figure out how to move this business forward.
What have been some of the most popular topics of the trainings that people most often watch?
Yeah, well, it's not super sexy. The financial ones are watched a lot. So like I said, that Inflation Act one is a really big one because I don't think most people would think that is something that a business owner needs to know about. But there are so many things that, I sat through it live and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, tax law and tax credits and tax benefits. I didn't realize those things existed, or I didn't really understand how they directly connected to us as a business owner. But there was I learned in that one that there's a new way to do an R&D credit. How many of you have heard of it, the R&D credit? It's a research and development credit. And that one is the concept of if you are building something with a technology component, and you could build it internally first and with an intention to sell it, commercialize it later, you can get, I think, up to 20%. And Arizona has the best tax credit, R&D tax credit. So if you're building anything that involves technology that could be commercialized in the future, you could get 20%. You get a 20% tax credit at the end of the year. And I run a co-working space, so I didn't actually think that was something that I would qualify for. But you know what? We realized that we're actually building this check-in system that is for our own personal use, but it could be commercialized. And you can start thinking about different business models. And so it's helping us expand how we're thinking about how to do things. Sorry, that was a big story. And that led to actually some of this work with Hub, right? We've expanded to a second business model because we were learning about how these credits work. And if you think about a credit versus just a business deduction, there's a huge difference there. You can show a lot of revenue, you can show bigger margins, and then not still have to pay a ton of, okay, we're in a city building, so we want to pay taxes, but there are still things if you can invest in your own business more, or you can lower that means you can do more and grow and hire more employees, right? And so just understanding how tax credits work and what is available to you as a business owner, I think I can say for probably everybody, you're a little worried about am I taking all of the tax credits and the tax benefit that I should be taking at the end of the year. So I think that's always in a business owner's mind, but like, when do you have the time, and do I really want to spend, you know, $350 just to talk to my CPA about this one component? And so there's a lot in the learning library about the tax credits or like financial things. The other one that's really helpful and beneficial that we've seen a lot of people take advantage of, there's like I think a session around five marketing tips that you should take, or how do you do PR on a budget. So there's like a lot of templates in there that you can just download and then pre-fill and run your own PR marketing campaign for yourself as a small business owner. There's still value in having a PR company, but a lot of these lessons are things for like your small business that, you know, you don't have the ability to afford like a big agency to do. So how far can you go with a little bit of DIY work? So I think those are one of the most popular ones. And then I think just a reminder that this is a digital tool. So you use this at your own time. You don't need to wait for anybody. You can scroll it in the middle of the night while you're in bed, you know, like, and navigating things. So it's not one of these like you have to wait until 4 o'clock because that's when that session is going to happen to learn about how to improve your SEO marketing. So I
But
think,
speaking of that, there'll be some live interactive workshops as well that people can take advantage of.
yep, every month we run 2 sessions. One of them is an office hour. So we bring on an expert, and so you can talk to that expert about the specific topic. We're nearing the end of the year, so likely the next one will be a live CPA that will answer any questions that you have about end of year taxes. At the beginning of the year, typically we do one around like sales marketing strategies, but it changes every single month, so just stay on top of that. We load it into the events library. And then we also run a very specific training, which is around that changes every month as well, and based off of community feedback. So we take community feedback every quarter, and so definitely fill out the surveys and tell us what you need or post, and we watch all of those things and whatever is recommended and highest feedback, we try to plan a session around that. So those are live, and the benefit of joining us live is you get to hear the session, but you also get to participate in the Q&A. So if there's something specific to your own business, instead of having to pay somebody a 1-hour consulting fee, you can immediately just ask that question to that expert and get immediate feedback. So you can watch those, and then every week we push out an email update that you'll get that tells you what the new grants are, what new training has been added to the platform, and then anything that's special. So you should not be missing them as long as you can check your email or you can jump on the platform.
Thanks for that, Jenny. Any other questions for Jenny? Get my steps in.
Can you talk about the typical size of businesses that you see on the platform? Because some people might think, well, a small business is 5 people, but could be 50 people, employees, that type of thing. So could you talk about that?
Typically, it's under 20. We have a good amount that are under 10. There is no limit, so any size business can join the platform. Like I said, the only requirement is that you're a Tempe business owner. But most of the businesses are usually under 20 employees. I think there is benefit for probably companies that have 50 employees, but above that, I think there's different challenges. The catering and the content is usually for the smaller businesses under 20, I think. But we definitely have businesses that have multiple, and I'm talking about like 20 full-time employees. There are definitely companies on there that have multiple locations across the valley, and they have maybe a huge staff, but they're service industry, so it's still maybe 5 full-time people, but 60 part-time people. And I think there's a huge benefit in that as well for business owners of that size, because it's about like growing and scaling beyond one.
And the platform is open for nonprofits as well.
Yes. Yep. The platform's open for nonprofits as well as the training lab that we'll be launching.
Okay. Another question? Okay, great.
I know you mentioned this is for business owners. I'm with Boys and Girls Club of the Valley, and we have an entrepreneurship program. Could this be a platform for teens to come and network with people or just learn while they're building their business?
That's a great question. I think that's probably something Jill and I will need to talk about. The only challenge with that, I think it's the question of does our funding allow for that? So we'll have to talk about that, and I can get back to you on that. Definitely if they're associated with a company that is based in Tempe, then they could apply under that company. But if they don't have, I think the challenge is that's the requirement. So maybe we can follow up with her on that, Jill.
Yeah, we can definitely follow up. Good question. Thank you. No? Okay. All right. Well, I can give you back some of your morning. I don't think anybody's going to be too upset about that.
There's some like food and snacks and stuff,
Yeah, there's
right?
food and snacks. Please make sure you take advantage of that. Just really quick, I want to mention we have a citywide food drive coming up. And we're getting our business community involved in this as much as possible. We're working with our partners at Tempe Chamber and DTA and Downtown Tempe Authority. So you can get a box from any of those organizations, or you can contact me to get a box to get involved. November 4th through the 13th are the dates of the food drive. We just appreciate you all getting involved if you'd like to. We're trying to get up to 50 businesses signed up for it. I think so far we have about 10. And so we're well on our way, but we certainly appreciate the generosity of additional businesses getting involved in our citywide food drive. And we will pick up the boxes when at the end of the drive, so you don't really have to lift a finger. All you need to do is get the box, and we'll give you a poster and get the items from your employees, and we'll come pick it up for you. Did I miss anything, guys?
We left some swag back there. There's a couple cards. And my team said people still use pop sockets, so there's pop sockets there. But please take them, share the cards. It has the registration link on there if you weren't able to register while sitting here. So yeah, please do that. Maybe we can plan a happy hour so that we're not doing a presentation in the future, but just hanging out.
Sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Thanks, everyone, for being here today. We really appreciate it. Please contact me if you have questions. Please reach out to our partners that I've mentioned as well. And certainly, we want to thank Jenny and her team for all the good work they've done to create this resource for all of us. So thank you again for being here, and enjoy your day.